It still gets me every time.
Dude, I was just thinking it's been too long since I've heard this.
It's been a couple weeks.
It's been a couple weeks.
That's right. For sure.
Life is happening right now.
Life is happening right
But before we talk about that, he's Philip.
He's Isaac.
And this is the Unfiltered Podcast. Coming at you with hats on tonight.
Hats on. We're the hat guys.
We're the hat guys.
I'm doing it because I've got a mop of hair and I need some tameness.
See, I've got the opposite problem.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't have a mop of hair. And I just came from golfing, so that's why I've got a hat on.
Seems fitting.
You know, it's like once you mess up the gel from the morning, you just can't go back.
It's over.
It's over.
Until you wash your head and put
That's
more
right.
gel in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, that's what it's like. Windy days to and from the office. It's bad.
Is it bad?
Bad. Yeah, gotta have the hat or else.
Does it just like get out of control, like when the wind
Yes.
takes it?
Yes. So then our hairdresser,
Emily, who was awesome.
she is great. She was like, so do you just wear hats to like tame your hair? And I was like, yeah. How'd you know? And it's just because she knows it's crazy
got
and it's
the
hard to
sense.
handle. And it's like, well, he's probably wearing a hat because when you show up to church, like wearing a hat, it's like, it's not a place where you really wear a hat a whole lot, but then you like enter the sanctuary and then you take your hat off and then you're kind of like doing the thing, you know?
Yeah, I know about that thing.
You know about that thing.
Yeah, Taylor made me get my eyebrows cut because I'm getting married this Saturday.
Did you love
And
it?
so,
Whoop, whoop.
I was kind of like, I don't want to do this. He's like, no, you have to do it.
Yeah, I made
And-
Tyler let me pluck his eyebrows a few
Really?
weeks ago. When I cut the mullet, I plucked the eyebrows.
It'd be a good time to do it. Just get it all out of the way. Well, Emily did mine while she was like cutting the rest of my hair, and she like started on my right eyebrow, and she's like, "Oh, this isn't that bad." And then she got to my left, and she was like, "Whoa!" She goes, "There's one that's like 3 inches long in here." Taylor's like, "Exactly."
Wild. That is wild.
But she wouldn't even notice. I mean, I just kind of, I do the thing,
Do the thing. Yeah.
curl it in there.
That's the gourmet treatment right there. It's the eyebrow, the eyebrow cut, and then like that, like the uni wax. I'm a big fan of the uni wax right there.
Uni wax.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, it's important.
yeah, it's good.
Unless that's the look you're going for.
Can't be having a unibrow unless you're Anthony Davis, basketball player.
I know him.
Yeah?
Zero.
Yeah, NBA Live 2016.
Okay,
Yeah,
fear the brow.
back in the yeah.
Yep,
Fear the brow. Yep.
it's good.
Great. Glad we got that out of the way.
Yeah, what a start to this podcast. Okay, what a legendary 3
If you're
minutes.
wondering which podcast this is, it's the Unibrow one.
It's the unibrow. That's the one it is from now on.
See, we don't get this kind of joking in when we've got guests on.
Right,
as
we need to
much.
do
It's
some
not-
one-on-one stuff.
Yeah.
We don't end up talking about unibrows.
We just need the right guest, apparently. The unibrow guest hasn't shown up yet.
You could probably
I know a
find.
guy with a unibrow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
call him up.
Okay. He's my youth pastor.
Oh, my.
Nice.
Shout out Matt Slippy.
Oh, boy.
It's out there.
He knows
out
it.
there.
On
now.
the internet
Right
forever.
on. What's up, Matt? Anyway, this is episode 14, which is good. When we started this 2021, now it's May, and we're still doing it. So, I mean, persistence is key. Consistency is key.
True.
Yeah.
14's pretty good.
14's
It's
good.
a good run.
Yeah.
Had some cool guests on so far.
That's right.
Yep.
It's not like I'm planning on stopping. It's just like, this is where we are.
Yeah.
In fact, we keep adding things to the studio. Like,
True.
we have the bird's eye camera, which
I will. Nope.
it looks like it came off the wall anyway.
Not
It did.
tonight.
Still working the bugs out, but now we have these backlights, and I just feel I am like really digging it. Just how it gives a lot of depth.
It does.
This behind our guest wall always just felt kind of like dull as I was watching it back now, and I was trying to figure out what to do, and now here we are.
I feel like it really evens out like some of the contrast too on the picture because like his wall or our wall when we have guests,
Right.
it's always really dark because of the black tiling backdrop. But this is like always really light. So now we've got the blue, and I feel like it evens it out some. So
Yeah.
you all should say what you think about the lights in the
right.
comments. Do you like the whatever? I don't know if this is blue or purple to be honest with you, but
It might be like
In,
indigo.
in
Indigo.
person, it's blue, but on camera, it's purple.
does it look purple? Wow.
Fascinating.
So it can be both.
You do look very tan, though.
It's great. We like that.
We do like that, especially on wedding week.
Hope I look this tan on the wedding.
Yeah,
At the wedding.
because you're getting married in like
I'm getting
5
married.
days.
5 short days.
Today's the 10th. On the 15th,
I know.
it's happening.
Very soon.
It's happening.
And it's got to be one of the greatest taglines for a wedding ever,
Oh, it's so funny.
because her last name is
Yeah.
Friend.
Yeah.
Hashtag no longer a friend.
Yep.
It's brilliant.
Good. I didn't know that was the hashtag until like this morning when
Yep.
she posted that picture, and it was so funny.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
good.
like the right way to start my Monday.
I'm trying to remember who. I think my sister came up with that, like the maybe even before we got engaged.
Lizzie?
Like,
Love it.
yeah, because she had heard, like, she knew she was in on the plan and all that, and she might have been the one who said that, like, no longer a friend. And I was like, that's it. That's
Yeah.
the one.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Don't even need to discuss it anymore.
I
We
like
got
it.
it.
Yeah.
I do too.
It's better than like no longer friend zoned. I mean, because that's kind of, I don't know, no
Right.
longer a friend. It's just good.
Yeah,
It
it's
is
just
good.
Short and sweet.
more than a friend.
That's another good one.
That one would have been fun.
another good one.
If you were a friend and she was
Mm.
a different last
Oh, there
name,
we go.
that would have been a good
So if
one.
there are any other friends out there,
More than
the
friends.
dude's getting taking your last name more than a friend.
Or like wranglered a friend. Right? How does that work?
Wanglered a
Wanglered a
friend.
friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm gonna go with it.
I think we're gonna stick with no longer a friend.
No, shoot. Okay,
This
I'll have
time
to take
around,
my
yeah.
t-shirts back then.
Sorry. Oh shoot. I didn't know, man. Take it up with the boss.
Anyway,
Is Taylor the boss?
Sometimes. Some decisions.
That was a good
I
way to
feel
put
like
it.
you both get a leg in the pants.
We are aware of each other,
That's good.
and we, I think, value one another's input. We talk about most decisions,
There you go.
which, I mean, everyone asks, like, are you ready to get married? And I feel like that's just one of those questions that, like, how do you answer that? I mean, I've never been married before, so I think as ready as I'm supposed to be to get married, because if I wasn't, I don't think I would have asked her. But then at the same time, it's like I have an expectation of what it's going to be like. But then how do I really know what it's going to be like to have, someone there all the time and to love them and consider them as an equal and a partner in life in every choice and moment. I mean, that's a tough thing, I think, to really grasp and like get my head around. And I don't know, I'm trying, but I'm sure there are going to be things that are unexpected once we get into it.
yeah,
Yeah,
stuff like that happens.
but can't plan
Good
your whole
thoughts.
life in a moment, right?
No.
Can't pre-plan everything.
No, you're never prepared for things like that.
Mm.
Like kids, marriage.
Yeah,
You can try.
yeah,
Just like I'm thinking, the thing that flew to my. Here's another movie for you is like Lord of the Rings or like
Mhm.
Bilbo Baggins
Sure.
in The Hobbit. As he gets packed, he brings his pots and all of his stuff, and he's trying to get prepared for what he thinks he needs to be prepared for, but
yeah,
he doesn't know.
right.
Right.
Yeah, I was like, as you were talking about that, I kind of got the image too of like, we talk about like seasons of life and going from one time into a new one. And this is what it is. I mean, it's a transition of a way life is going to be because of the, circumstances and the time and that she is involved, the relationship, all that. And, yeah, I mean, we could liken that to going somewhere. Like, how do you know what to expect from a place that you've never been to yourself? I mean, I can look at the pictures that other people have taken. I can hear about their experiences, both good and bad, but till I get there myself, I'm just,
There's a limit to what you can.
yeah, limited understanding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's an expectation there, but I'm trying not to I have a good expectation of it, but I'm also trying not to get like so hard set in what I expect it to be like that I would be like frustrated or disappointed if it is not, because it probably won't be exactly what I'm anticipating.
Yeah. So if you set yourself up like that,
Yeah.
and then it turns out that it isn't like what you anticipate, then you set yourself up for like hard disappointment,
Mm-hmm.
which is, what you want to avoid. Because I mean, then you start to think, oh, marriage was a bad idea. Oh, maybe I picked the wrong partner. When none of that is true, it's just you set your expectations too high. And I don't think you're going to do this at all. I just think other marriages do this, and I think divorce rate is relatively high because we think we know what it should be, and then it's not. And then we're not necessarily willing to fight for what it actually is because we still want it to be the way we thought it was going to be. And then, and then you break up, and then, that's the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah.
But if you set yourself up the right way, then yeah, you've got a way better chance to just have a happy wife and life.
Happy spouse, happy house.
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
That includes the men.
Goes both ways.
Yeah. Goes both ways. Very good.
Yeah. I don't know. I think being adaptable is something that I'm like trying to be just able to change if that's what is needed. Like change situationally, change expectations.
Yeah. I mean, that's the key. It's the key to health, not to sidebar. We can come back here, but like the key to health is being adaptable.
Oh yeah.
You can see that.
Well, you've talked to me about that before,
Sure.
like adaptability and how like a working body adapts. And that's why like stress doesn't destroy it because it can adapt to it. It can like take it. It's like
Right.
the bounce back.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you might as well just like talk about it. You got it. The health.
Oh yeah. Let's go there.
Let's go there.
For sure.
Let's get you excited.
Oh my. Well, because like the sauna, we get in the sauna, and then the first time people come over, and it's 140, 150 degrees, and it's hot. We try to make it for 30 minutes, and then some people, it's like, yeah, it's 20, and I'm out.
Yeah.
But then the next time they can make it a little longer, and then they make it a little longer, and it's just like proof that your body is adaptable. You know, like before where you could not tolerate the heat, you could later because your body like found a way. It got better. It adapted. It got healthier,
Right.
and so on and so forth.
Yeah. And isn't that like that test you do where you like zap someone with electricity? Don't be afraid to go into his office, everybody. It's not that bad. You don't even
You
feel
don't
it.
actually get zapped.
I don't know. I just know there's electricity involved. I'm not trying to give you a bad
No,
name.
yeah. No, I get
I'm
it.
just being
Yep.
a jokester here.
Yeah.
It's all good. You don't even feel it. You do have to take like all metal off. I don't know what would happen if you didn't, but
It's true. Well, then it's like your body is a circuit. So
Yeah.
we attach leads to your hand and to your foot, and it passes electricity through you. So we want electricity to only pass through your body and not any extra like metallic influence, because then it would skew your results.
sure.
But I know what you're saying, because it's called the bioimpedance analysis test, and it really represents your cellular health, or how efficiently your cells and your metabolism is working. And so depending on how high that is, it gives you a rating, which is really, it represents your resiliency. Like if you were a truck and you were brand new versus an old beater, and you had to go on a trip to California and back, like the road is stressful. So how much stress can you take before you're going to break down, lose a wheel? The transmission is like in the ditch over there somewhere. So we test your resiliency to see like how much stress you can actually handle before we can predict something might break. Yeah.
So how do you think resiliency and adaptability work in conjunction with each other? What's the relationship there, like on a health level of adaptability and resiliency?
Great question. Yeah. Because sometimes, principle number 6, there's no process which does not require time. Okay. So sometimes you need more time to adapt to things. But if you don't have a high enough resiliency, you won't have enough time to adapt before you like break or die or XYZ.
So resiliency is the time to adapt, or like
You could say that. Yeah.
the space needed.
That's never before been thrown around in here. That's like a new definition, and I liked it a lot.
Did you like it?
I did like it a lot.
Something for you?
It did something for me.
Cool.
Take that to the bank and board it. Yeah. That was good. Resiliency is the time of which you have within you to adapt. And the longer you have, the more you can adapt, and the stronger you can be down the road.
Sure.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, I like it. I'm thinking too about like the opposite side of the relationships. Like if these two things are working together, like resilience plus adaptability, equals, I don't know, success or whatever it is, making it, getting through the stress, the destination. These two things are, working together to make that happen. Then is adaptability, if that is increased, is less resiliency required then? Like if you have high adaptability, is less resiliency required of you, and if you have high resiliency, is less adaptability required of you, and is one of those things easier to attain or to build than the other?
Yeah, more good questions. I feel like resiliency probably has to happen first before adaptability. Honestly, it's a chicken or the egg thing, because with one without the other, you can't build.
Yeah, you have to have both.
Yeah, you have to have both.
Because if you're resilient, to know, like eternally resilient, just without end, but you're not adaptable, you're still never going to change. Like,
Right.
you're still going to be stuck.
And you'll probably just end up grinding the whole time.
Yeah.
it'll never get easier, versus
Spinning your wheels.
You need
Not
that
going
adaptability to come to make things more efficient.
Right.
You know?
But if you're super adaptable but not resilient, then like you can't like really go anywhere either, because
You're still going to break.
you're just going to be bouncing up and down in the same spot.
Yeah, very true. Or you gain some adaptability, but you lose something that you adapted to before. And so actually it's like you took one step forward, 2 steps back, and then on and on and on.
There's like no consistency, nothing of long-standing worth. It's just like changing all the time.
That's right.
So there's two extremes. There's I will never change, or I am constantly changing. And the right thing is somewhere in the middle where you have both working together. That's the balance.
I feel like somewhere in podcast 2, 3, 4, 5, we kind of came to that conclusion. Like, it's never one principle that's always a priority. It's about balance between all of them. And I think that is a unspoken principle that should be spoken more of.
Balance.
Balance, yeah. There's a bunch of people who I was looking at. There's like some canvas prints called Success Hunters, and it's some good artwork. I've got a hole on this wall right here that I still want some artwork, and I was searching, but except this is all about like grinding and hustling and beating the drum, and which is important most of the time, but it's not the only thing. And that was what was striking me is actually I was thinking, I'm going to put this on my wall, and Isaac's going to take one look at it, and he's going to be like, yeah, I mean, it's true, but it's not like the thing. And so I couldn't buy it because it's like Isaac's going to, it doesn't fit us. It doesn't fit the theme. It doesn't do X, Y, Z.
It's just,
but it was good. It was a good that I had you in the back of my head.
my voice is like ringing through your ears.
Kind of, yeah. Kind of.
It's unbalanced.
Just your wisdom is ringing through my ears. Things that I've learned from you. And
well, thanks, man.
things that have made us better.
Yeah. Grateful that I've grown, that we get to keep growing and keep learning and taking it in. Yeah, I mean, I recognize that, and it probably stands out to me because like I feel like I've been unbalanced at times. I mean, I wonder if there are some people more prone to like that way, like that like fixate on things. Like I can remember a time where I was like trying to figure out, and this was kind of like, I mean, it was in formative years, probably like adolescence, when I was trying to figure out who I was, just like every other teenager is. And I was like wanting, like many do, to define myself through some kind of like hobby. I saw a meme on Facebook the other day, and it was kind of funny, but also like kind of sad, like now that I'm thinking about it. But just awesome guy that I know from back in Tulsa when I was working in car sales. His name's Gibson. And if he hears this, I think you're awesome, Gibson. Love you, man. Miss you. But
let's get you on the podcast, Gibson.
That'd be cool. We should. He's like a manager at one of the Toyotas now in Oklahoma somewhere.
Cool.
So, cool guy.
Cool guy.
Anyway, he posted this thing, and it really is the truth. It was like 4 different pictures. One was like of guns. One was of like a guy working on some cars. One was like sports, and the other one was like a grill with like meat on it and barbecue. And it said, guys will turn 35 and define their whole identity in one of these 4 things. And I was like, wow, that's kind of true.
Crazy.
And then someone commented, and they're like, or in all 4 of them. Like, and I just like, I'm thinking about that because like back in that period of time where I was trying to figure out who I was, that's what I wanted to do, was like pick a thing, make it my thing. And then like, that's who I'm going to be. I'm going to be, Isaac the car guy, or I'm going to be Isaac the whatever else it might be. And I say cars because that's what I was into like in high school, and I had some friends that really were into that too. So yeah, like I guess I'm just saying that because I think it's an extreme thing to fixate just on the one and make that the whole. And that's what I don't like about just that, hyper like success kind of culture, and like the, success coaches and that stuff. Like it'll make you good at sales or, work or whatever you want to do. But like, I think to take that kind of stuff in, like you have to be able to keep it in its place and like use the knowledge that's available there, but not allow that to become all of who you are, because ultimately like it's empty. Ultimately you're never going to hit, having been fulfilled by it. There's always going to be more sales you have to make to impress the next person or get the next promotion or hit the next tier of living or spending or whatever it is. So like I like some of what they, will teach and get people pumped up and inspired to go do a good job, but it's just the unbalance when you fixate causes problems.
Right. Yeah. Agreed.
It's like talking about like trucks or cars, like breaking down, like it'd be like fixing your throttle at red line and just like staying there. You're not going to go far before you brake.
Right.
And I think that's just kind of what it can become.
Mm-hmm.
It's like do it all the time with everything you have. Never stop selling, never stop closing. Like that's red line, and you're going to break something. It might be your relationships. It might be your mind. It might be your body. You're going to break something.
Exactly. Hence our main theme.
There it is.
For the podcast. There it is. We arrived. If you pour all your energy into one area, whether it's health, relationships, your resources, being your time, energy, money, or your career, your passions, or your pursuit of life, you're going to wind up being imbalanced in one of the other areas. And that's what we're about, is creating balance, because these are the top four things that we see as universally important for everyone, always, forever, or else it can really ruin or disrupt your entire life. Is got to protect your health, got to protect your relationships, which means your relationship with Creator, your relationship with yourself, and your relationships with the others that you want in your inner circle. Got to protect your resources, time, money, energy. You don't get time back. It's hard to get energy back. If you lose a bunch of money, it's hard to get back. You have to steward this stuff. But then if like your career, if you're imbalanced in your passions and you're doing something in your career that gives you no passion and it's sucking all the life out of you and you've got nothing to pour into your health, relationships, or resources, boom, there it is. Balance.
Yeah. Balance is important.
Yeah.
I agree.
Which I am reading. I'm sorry, Lindsay. I know you said it'd be good to take a break from talking about movies or books, and here I've already done it. So I was about to bring up a book.
It's fine.
Just do it. What is
do
it?
I'm reading Dan Gable's book, and it is fascinating. Dan Gable is so interesting. Dan Gable, the Iowa Hawkeye wrestling coach, he went to Iowa State, wrestled as a Cyclone, and undefeated in wrestling through high school, undefeated through college until his last match of his senior year in the national championship game. In the finals of his weight class, he loses. And just how he talks about where his mind was at and what he was doing and how his whole routine was broken before that match, and just like everything that led up to him losing. It's just so fascinating to have to listen to him break it down.
Wow.
But I divert because the top four areas of life, I got from my chiropractic coach, which was a fantastic time that I spent with him. But he gave credit to Dan Gable for this philosophy, as in these are four areas that everyone needs to give attention to. But it's not 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 1, 1, 1, 1. Like there has to be balance. Each one deserves all the energy that it is supposed to have in order to be healthy. So it's Dan Gable. The dude knew how to do some things. The dude figured out some things, like how to be successful, how to, keep balance, how to work, how to keep your body healthy, but yet put in the work that you need to do to get to that national or Olympic champion. So the dude coached like several Olympic champions and several NCAA champions and won 9 Big Ten wrestling champions in a row. Lost his 10th. That's what he says is like another great loss of his life, is not winning that 10th college wrestling Big Ten championship in a row. But when a guy like that is that successful repeatedly over time, it's like, okay, he's got something figured out. I think it's worth studying to some degree.
So would you say like the 4, common areas and like balancing those in like what we talk about kind of over and over throughout time in the podcast so far? I mean, would you say that's the primary thing that you've learned from studying him?
I think so. So he's got 2 books out. So I haven't heard in his book like him directly talk about this, but I've heard that this concept comes from him. So I'm waiting to kind of see him go into
Where
a
it
little bit
comes
more.
out.
Yep.
Sure.
Yep. And he was just on a podcast with Joe Rogan too, which I feel like is kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
But
Did you hear anything like good from that? Did he bring any of this up in that?
so I didn't watch the full thing, but I watched some clips, and I actually found it funny because he was telling some stories, and it was like verbatim from the book.
Oh,
It's like,
wow.
oh, I know exactly what he's going to say because he's just, telling stories that he wrote down in his book. But it was good.
Suppose if you have stories that you tell over and over like that, I bet eventually you just kind of fall into a rhythm where you tell them the same way.
Yeah. And people want you to tell that story, and
Yep.
people want you to talk about this topic and this topic. It's like, well, this is what I got. It's this story.
So here you go.
So here you go. It's like, what more can I give you?
You can read it in the book or you can listen to it here.
Exactly. Yeah. It's good.
It's interesting. I heard something today, you mentioned about like content and talking about movies and books. And I heard somebody today, I'm trying to remember the name of this podcast. I haven't listened to it very much, so I can't speak to whether it is all good or not, but this episode was interesting to me. And I think it was called The Order of Man, or it was like the Age of Man, or it was something like that. I could pull it up and tell you what it is. Maybe I'll do that after I tell you what I want to tell you, which is this. The guy that is leading it is like a dad who had gone through this experience where he realized that like he wasn't the man that he was supposed to be. So he decided he was going to like make some changes. And so he was talking about that, and he went into what he sees as the 3 stages or like 3 progressions that men go through in life. And the first one is an identity of victimhood. The second is, he called it like the content consumer or something like that. And then the third one was executor. And he goes, this is kind of like the progression that people make is first, like really the starting point is like, I'm helpless to change my circumstances. I'm helpless to do anything about what I'm going through, what I'm struggling with. And he talked about some of the excuses that people make in like for him, part of his struggle was like learning how to be a good dad. And he said for the longest time, I would use the excuse like, well, people use the excuse, I didn't have a good dad to show me what that was like, so I can't be a good one myself, or I, never learned about what money is, so I can't save it myself, or I can't do this. And it's like all these reasons, all these excuses, whether somewhat valid or not, all the reasons why I can't succeed at what I want to succeed at. And he says that's like you're a victim all the time in every circumstance. Like you're just helpless. He goes, eventually when you get like fed up enough with that and you like see there's another way, what you do is like decide to go and figure out how to not be a victim anymore. And like that's the content consumption. So he talked about for himself in his own journey where, for the longest time he made these excuses about why he was the way he was. And then he started like reading and listening to podcasts and watching material about how to be a good father and what that's like, and learning the principles. And he said, that stage is almost difficult because you're learning, but you're not necessarily like doing yet. And so like, stuff, but you're not seeing it like working in your life quite yet. And he goes, then the third step is eventually like you gain the knowledge enough to then put it into practice. He goes, and that kind of goes along with accountability, where you get people around you that will help you to do what you're supposed to do. And then you become an executor. And so no longer are you helpless without any knowledge or wisdom to do something. And no longer are you in a position of knowing it but not doing it. Now you are executing, you're living it, you're doing what's right and what's wise and what's good. And so he talked about that progression for himself. And he shared about how, first he had to make a decision like, I'm not just going to be helpless anymore. And then he spent the time, like he talked about, just hours a week listening and reading and taking in what he needed to get knowledge and understanding, and then putting himself in a system or a framework where he could consistently apply what he knew to do and do it. And how he just talked a lot about accountability and how that was a big factor in that. And I probably wouldn't be sharing all of this if I didn't believe it was like based in word, which I could tell you it is, because
Sure.
you first have to get to a point where you're done with the way things are. And, you know, I just preached Sunday about repentance and how that's a reorientation of your life. It's a turning away from something old that doesn't work into something new. It's hearing the word, becoming a knower of the word, and then, like it says in James, becoming a doer of the word so that you don't just walk out and forget about it. And, of course, accountability, helping each other, bearing each other's burdens, supporting one another, encouraging, and all of that. I mean, it's all in the word. So you can catch me at Abundant Life Ministries on Facebook or halemjefferson.com. Little plug.
Laying it down.
Anyway, so I like the progression, and it's biblical. So for me, it's not just like empty wisdom. It's like that's legit, and that is based in word. So yeah, like that's the way it works. That's the process.
Well, it even represents just stages of life in a way, like victimhood or helplessness is age 0 to 16, essentially, you know?
Yeah.
Or whatever it is. Some people, you know, leave home at 12 or 14 and they end up doing okay. But there's a period of life where it's like, you know, a 5-year-old better not go out on his own. But then we go to school and college or trade school or mentorship or you name it. And it's like learning how to support yourself, learning how to dig yourself out, learning how to remove that helplessness status, and then like just doing it. Executing. Like it's a perfect mirror.
It is good.
I love it.
Reminds me of Tarzan.
Oh, you're gonna have to go there. You're gonna have to go
just
there.
because it was mentioned before the podcast, and
and
you know, I've been listening to that soundtrack this week. Just contemplating Tarzan, which you said you haven't seen it since you were like 8 years old.
Right.
It's a great movie, man.
I've seen the remake. The
live action one. It's not the same.
The movie with like
with real people actors.
Yeah, that's
like,
live action.
Yeah, it's not the same. It was good though. That what's that guy's name? He is the like German or Bavarian dude. He is
Skarsgård.
Is that his name? You know who I'm talking? Christoph Waltz. That's his name.
Okay.
I think he's like the villain.
He's the bad guy. Yeah,
he's a good actor. I think I have liked him in every movie I've seen him in. Yeah, he's a good actor.
Right on.
Anyway, he's in that movie. Yeah, no, the original does it for me. It's just, I was telling you this the other day, and I know you think it's silly that I can't tell you a movie I really like, and then what I come up with is Tarzan, which is like a children's cartoon. But I feel like it is, in a way, like representative, like you just said, of the journey like every person kind of has to make. And I mean, it's not perfect, it's not perfect symbolism, and it probably doesn't apply equally across the board to everyone, but it's like he is helpless, and then he's taken it and he learns one way, and then he has to like learn about something else, and then he has to make a choice for himself about who he's going to be and how he's going to live, and he finds balance in the end, because he doesn't just stay an ape, and he doesn't go like full bad dude from the boat. I mean, he's true to who he is,
sure,
even knowing about both worlds. It's like he decides who he's going to be, and he chooses what's right.
It does something for you.
It does, yeah, something.
So we need a Tarzan movie poster then.
And Phil Collins is just like a master on the soundtrack. So
I no offense, Phil Collins, I can't get there.
You're gonna do another Phil like that, really?
It doesn't do it for me. Not all Phils are created equal.
Ooh. I don't know. I saw like a YouTube video. I was like looking up some of the soundtrack on YouTube, and I saw a video of him at had to be like Oscars or Emmys or something, like back in the 90s, and he's singing this thing, and he's just like got the mic out. It did something for me. I was like, you go, Phil.
He is so good. I heard some of his music on like a different movie, and I was like, Tyler. He's like, it's Phil Collins. I was like, he's so good.
He is good. Just hasn't broke through your exterior shell yet.
I'm going to play it at the office tomorrow.
Oh boy. It'll be like a jungle in there.
I've got the app on my phone. I can shut that down.
Yeah, but quick. We also listened to some like EDM Christian music for you this last week.
C-E-D-M.
And it was like fine. But now we're going to listen to Phil Collins.
She's not feeling it.
Not interested.
Not interested.
Right.
Wide variety of musical tastes.
Correct. We can do whatever we want.
It's true.
Yeah.
One of us can pick for an hour and then switch it up.
Or we can take requests.
There we go.
Come to the office and have a request, But if you request Phil Collins, just
Stop.
make another appointment.
Just stop it. You should just like put an iPad out on the desk that's like a jukebox. Like,
Oh my goodness.
That could be legit.
That is a really good idea.
Actually, that could be done. Yeah.
you guys like that?
We have an extra iPad, so
There you go.
let's do it.
All right. Well, it's a project for this week.
In case you needed one more thing to do.
Right.
Maybe you could hire some volunteers or, recruit some
Hire
volunteers
some
to do that. Yeah.
volunteers.
I know that doesn't work. I know. I heard it when I said it.
We need all of our volunteers for Bell Tower Festival.
Do
No
need some
more
volunteers
diverting.
from Bell Tower. Yeah. Could use some help if you're out there and you're listening and you were curious about how to be a community volunteer. You could come talk to me about Bell Tower. Anyway.
I just choked on my water.
Yeah, you did.
Well, you were talking about that.
Yeah.
Sorry to come help with Bell Tower if you're listening.
There it is.
And you love Jefferson.
Yeah. For those who love Jefferson
And you
and
love
Greene
Phil.
County.
And you love the Bell Tower.
Right. Come help.
Come help.
It'll be fun. It'll be a blast.
It'll be great.
I can't wait for the volunteer dinner, which I think we're planning for like the week or two after Bell Tower.
Ooh.
Just to kind of like get together, recap how to go, and then just like run a train at one of our good Greene County restaurants.
We have some good ones around
We do
here.
have some good ones around here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'll be neat.
for sure. Which, speaking of running a train at a restaurant, your bachelor party was easily like one of the funnest things I've ever done in my life. Like just kind of planning that and just getting the guys together and
Whoever
taking you
put
from,
that together was like the best. I mean, he really knew what he was doing.
It was good.
Phil put it together.
I was really well. It's so fitting that you guys went to like the Boone Speedway the weekend before.
I know.
And you had this racing fix, and I'm like, cool. I've got go karts booked. Perfect. And then
It was great.
you get there and you're like, you were. I should have just had a camera trained on you the whole weekend because you're like,
We're doing that now?
oh, really? Let's go. All right, and it's like you instantly turned up.
Yeah.
It's like 0 to 60 on the Isaac button just like happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was into that.
Yeah, you were into that.
Into the go-karts.
For sure. That and we had an epic weekend.
It was a great
good.
weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, I rode around in a Tesla, which was like just a cool thing to do. I mean, that's not a car that I probably would have ever found myself in had someone not put me in it.
Sure.
But like that was cool. And I mean, we've got that video of you like coming into the office and being like, "Hey, I need you to come outside." I'm like, "What's going on?" Like, "Did you get a truck?" You're like, "No, that would have been for me. This is about you." I'm
Right.
like, "Oh, okay."
It's
Got
true.
a Tesla. It was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
It was a cool car.
Just the app, Turo is the app. And it's just like,
Yeah. Super legit.
Yeah.
Like Airbnb for cars.
exactly.
Very cool. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I've got it now. I'm like, what else do we have around here? Like, do you ever do that? Just like scroll and see like what's out there?
I did when I was like researching for the event, the big weekend. It
Yeah.
was, and there's so many nice cars and like every surrounding city minus Iowa. You know, Iowa probably has the least amount of like cool cars to rent. Kansas City, Omaha, Minneapolis. It's like these amazing, exotic, rare cars that it's like it's hard to see them, let alone get in them. Yeah, which it's good. It's fun, and we didn't damage anything or ourselves
No.
or the car.
It was all good.
Yeah, it was all good.
All in the up and up.
Yeah.
Just good, clean fun.
Yeah, I mean, for sure.
Love that.
Right.
I mean, what else? Like, so, I mean, do you want to like just put it out there what we did? Yeah. Can I
Go for it.
say, because like after the whole weekend, like I posted about it on Facebook because like it was awesome. I mean, and I've said this before, but like definitely my favorite weekend until this Saturday when I get married to Taylor. But it's going to be like number 2 probably for the rest, or maybe till I have a child or something like that. I don't know. I mean,
There's some big weekends
there's
coming up.
some big ones coming up, but like fun, yes, it's up there. It was an awesome weekend. And so like I just posted about it afterward, posted a couple of pictures from the group of us all awkwardly like smiling and,
Yeah.
and yeah, like I just talked about how we just like had a good weekend. We just did stuff that we like to do, but it wasn't like debauchery. It wasn't what a bachelor party is like supposed to be. I mean, it was just a group of guys who like to have fun. Like we shot guns, which is something we like to do. We rode go-karts. We hung out at an Airbnb in Des Moines that like had a suite downstairs with like a pool table and ping pong, and just like had fun there. Drank a bunch of coffee, which is good.
Normal.
We went to a meat buffet.
Yeah.
At that Brazilian steakhouse, which was so cool.
For
Definitely
sure.
have to do that again sometime. We went axe throwing. That was sweet. I mean, just like good stuff, all good stuff. And so I posted about this online, and someone that is like, I know him from the past, they like shared this post, and they're like, see, it is possible for guys to like have a good time without being like bad. Like you can still have a fun life and not have to like do the bad stuff. And so I think it's so awesome that you planned out this whole weekend, and we went, and 9 guys just had a great time without getting into any funny business. Just good, clean fun.
Right. Yeah.
So
It's a great group of guys.
it's a great group of guys.
Just guys that are in your circle.
Yeah.
And guys that, I mean, I didn't know everybody either.
Right.
But then we all came together, and it was just like, okay, we're hanging out. And it was the best. And I really didn't feel awkward at all either.
No.
Which I think just says something to, I don't know, you to an extent, just about the people that you were friends with. And I mean, when you have like a cord that binds you, and our cord essentially was like Jesus in a way, it's like you don't need a lot to relate to someone.
Right.
Because it's just like there's something that...
You're already unified.
Correct.
In the way that matters the most.
For sure. There's a group of guys. We lived in Lou at Central College our junior year, and then we had a pod, which was 8 guys in our senior year that lived together. And it's like we have this like little bond that still exists, I would say. You know, it's just like... Which is funny because one of those guys was our axe throwing instructor.
Yeah.
Trent Lilly, epic dude.
Which was awesome.
Yeah.
Like I feel like he could have just like jumped right in for the whole
to
weekend.
our bachelor
He totally
party.
could have.
Oh yeah, and he would have been on that same chord, and it just would have been good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like I found myself while we were doing the axe throwing, like just talking to him about like life, like real life stuff. And I love that that's how it is, like with people who are there and who have that kind of like unity in Christ. It's like we can just go there. We can just talk and get really real about life, and it's not like weird. It's just good.
Yeah. It is just good.
I think that's like the fellowship aspect of being like Christian that I want everyone to experience, because I think that's God's intention. It's not like church is it's not supposed to be like a weird place where we all feel like we're different and we all show up and we're awkwardly like stumbling through an hour of service together, and then we'll all leave and never talk to each other until next week.
I've had a lot of church experiences like that before.
And that is really too bad.
Yeah. Where it's
because it's not supposed to be that way.
Right.
His church wasn't that way. I mean, look at the 12 guys he got together. I mean, there were some fishermen in there, but there were guys doing other stuff too, and they all got along, and they did amazing things for the kingdom of God. But yeah, that's fellowship.
Yeah.
Brotherhood.
For sure.
The best kind.
The best kind. Yeah, everyone needs an inner circle. I'm just flashing back to The Office right now, where it was like, there is no inner circle, but you can deny it all you want. An Office quote, but it's everyone has an inner circle. You know, those people that you value a little bit more than everyone else, and I think that's good. Yeah, especially
it's important
to have that inner support group.
Yeah.
And because we were talking about community just upstairs before we came down, and you were raising some really good questions about community, especially like why I'm involved with Bell Tower and the bike ride around Greene County. And you're kind of like making me rethink what I even believe about community in Greene County and what this place, this physical location on earth needs. And
just like those 5 minutes up there.
Yeah.
Have you like
kind of
deeply thinking about,
tickled my brain.
Good.
Just about what my mission statement is, you know, and
got anything cohesive enough to throw down right now?
Oh man, I feel bad for this. This podcast is good. No, I feel bad just because some of my thoughts are incoherent or just incomplete, you know, but it's so much about what we do in our personal lives with our jobs and our careers is about bringing value for other people. It's about being a servant. And I suppose to a big extent is I want to serve the community, or at least like provide the community with a high quality of life, experiencing things that you normally could not experience in a small town like Jefferson and Greene County. Because, I mean, there's a lot of things that we don't have.
Yeah. That
attracts people to the city because there's opportunity here. Like, I had a conversation with both my sisters, and one sister said they could come back here and live because it has enough of the things that she values. But my other sister said no, she'd rather stay in the city just because of what it can provide her.
Sure.
And, if we can get really good about providing a unique, small town, high quality life experience, I mean, this place is going to flourish for a long time, you know? But part of that is entertainment.
Yeah.
And there was a guy that came into the office, and he just like laid it down for me and Lindsay just about like what Jefferson needs. And we kind of asked him like what he was doing in Jefferson because he was not from here. And he goes, well, I came to invest into the community. And I was just like struck by that statement, like what that means. And eventually he goes, what this place needs is like a pool hall for the high schoolers and the college kids to like come back and hang out, that evening place that they can hang out at until 10, 11, 12 p.m. And then you need, like he talked about some restaurants and other entertainment things. And even you and I have talked about we want an axe throwing place here locally. We want airsoft or paintball, or we want go-karts or something kind of radical like that. But I mean, it's so hard to get a place like that to come and be nice and then sustain a business just because it's hard. There's not enough people to draw from. And that's the thing that keeps some of those high entertaining things away.
Yeah.
But yet it's a thing that we need to draw more people here, which would, and again, it's chicken or the egg, resiliency or adaptability is which one needs to come first.
Yeah.
So then just to build off of what we have, I mean, we have a great biking community. We have a great community that likes to get active. And I mean, there were people, I was talking to guys from Iowa Falls on this bike ride, and there's a big crew from Panora. There's a big crew from Iowa Falls. There's a couple people one guy was from Ankeny. Like, people traveled to come to Greene County because we put on this event.
Yeah.
And I just love that because it puts our county on showcase. And we got to go to fun places like, Lakeside Golf Course, 209 Main, 30-yard line, Dock Stadium. I mean, there's some good people and things to experience here.
Definitely. Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I feel like the small town in the Midwest of America has a lot to offer. And I think some of it's a perception thing. I mean, I think people buy into, because I say this meaning myself, because I lived in Tulsa for 3 years, Tulsa, Oklahoma, while I was in school, and I never thought I'd come back to like a small town Iowa.
Same. Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm like,
3.5 years.
Why would I want to go back?
Why would I want to go back?
What's there for me? Like, city's got I can eat any kind of food I want. I can go do anything I want to do. But at the same time, like, I don't know. I think as I grow in life, I appreciate the closeness of a small town and a small community because, you really do, people and places. And, it feels like you're more a part of it than just a consumer at it. And I think that's kind of one of the things I've been thinking about is, as you've talked about, like the community and what things we're missing in entertainment and like some of that. I think, really, I think it's available in a small town, but it's like almost available in a different way. And, in a city, like, you have the opportunity to go there and pay for whatever kind of experience you want. I mean, you can do anything, within reason. You can do a lot of things in a city if you have the money to do it. But I feel like in a small town or in a smaller, like, closer knit community, you'll have opportunities to do a lot of things, but you're not going to pay for it like financially. Like, it's going to be more through like relationships is where you're going to find your entertainment with friends. And I've told you before, I think I've told you before, like, stuff that I do out of my acreage, stuff I'm wanting to do or put together. It's like, well, I want to do that so people can come out and like do this.
Yeah.
I want to build a fire pit so that people can come out and have a bonfire out here. I want to build a go-kart track so that people can come race a go-kart at my place, or of course that's the conversation after the bachelor party. So it's like, for me, that's like part of it is you don't have to have all the stuff to go have fun. Like you just need to know someone who has it. I don't have to know how to fish to be able to go fish. I just have to know someone who does.
Right.
And I think in a small town, if you will engage with a community, like you're going to get to know people who know stuff or have stuff or do stuff or go places. And here I am getting kind of pastoral again, but like I think that's one of the great things about the church and the body of Christ as a community too. And small towns, I do not have the research probably to bring this up on a podcast that's going to be on the internet forever, but I'm going to do it anyway. I would offer the idea, and I'm going to go study this out afterward. I would offer the idea that small towns begin to deteriorate when the churches begin to deteriorate.
Oh, interesting.
Because when that community shut down, people became isolated in small towns. That was like the thing that brought people together. It still is in some small communities. Like Taylor's from a really small town over in western Iowa called Earling. They have it's a Catholic church, and they put on like a picnic every year. I mean, it's like thousands of people in this town of like a couple hundred, like all come out for this huge picnic that they put on every year. And it's like that's the thing that brings people, but that's the way that churches used to be in all these small towns, and now they're not. So I think people are like, they want community, but they're going to cities where they can buy it. Oh man. See, now I'm starting to see something. Now I'm like getting somewhere. People are paying for relationships today. The consumer approach to relationships or to fun experiences. And I'm probably generalizing here. I know not everybody does that, and not everybody in a city is in that circumstance. But I do think that that's true. Like there are opportunities in small towns. I've lived in 2 small towns since I graduated from college, and just like started out just having people over to play it like a stinking board game. And we do that a few times, and now we have friends, and now us and the friends like get together and we go do other stuff, and we do more fun things. I mean, it's like just start, just find somebody that is interesting or not even close to your age. I mean, I hang out with people that are quite a bit older than me, people my own age. I mean, just start hanging out with people. Go somewhere where the people are.
Right. Do you think in those communities that get all that engagement and get that following in a way, do you think there's like 1 or 2 people, or 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 people that if they left, that community would dissolve or have a hard time like communing? Do you think there's, I don't know what to call these people, but just like keystones or just entertainers or attractors?
Like connectors?
Yeah. I feel like those people is what helps draw it all together is, well, I know this person, and so therefore I came,
Yeah.
And
I think that's true.
Like you need some of those people to be that. You need to be the invitator. You need to be the entertainer. You need to be the life of the party in a way, which not everyone can be.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm the life of a party necessarily when I walk into a room. It's like, Phil's here. Okay, now the party can start. Like I don't think it's like that.
I get excited when you walk into a room.
I mean,
I'm like, all right.
That's it kind of depends on the party.
Right. Sure.
Right. Yeah.
There's certain parties where I am not going to contribute much.
And there's other parties where like Phil's the dude.
If you say so. But I have a desire to be that person, and I think that has ushered my desire to be a part of the Main Street and Chamber organization, just because like I can kind of I've fallen into a role where hopefully I can create and connect people and things, and that excites me. That does something for me. Yeah.
I think it's a place to bring health where there is not. I mean, because there is relational health, and people who are disconnected, I mean, sometimes what they need is just like a little nudge to get them connected. So I think that's a great thing if you can help facilitate that.
Yeah.
Provide opportunities for people to do it. Because
it's a science. Like, how do you create a community? Lecrae, like the hip hop artist Lecrae. Like he studied this, and I think he wrote a book about it, and that's like his desire is to be a culture creator. And when I first heard that, I like freaked out because like, oh, that's what I want to do. I want to create a culture of health and a culture of well-being, but it's how to do that is hard. And I think you see more communities and cultures dissolving or becoming at odds with each other because of some divisiveness than you see. I don't know. And maybe it's just more reported, or it's just more like what we hear and gossip about is because it's more entertaining versus the good stuff that goes on behind the scenes and the communities that come together because of a culture being created. But
I think there's a couple things there. I feel like, creating a culture or a community, I mean, just kind of different words for establishing something. I mean, really, that's leadership, isn't it? I mean, isn't it leading people to a new, way of doing things, or, just new level of connection? I mean, I think it's leading people, and it makes me think about, I don't know if I've shared this on the podcast before, but like the stages of leadership and how, this is like I think it's a John Maxwell thing. He in one of his books, which is on my shelf and I haven't read it in a couple of years, but he goes through like this pyramid of the stages of leadership. And the first one is like leading out of authority. It's like positional leadership. Like you follow me because you have to. And then I think the next one after that is like leadership based on results. And it's like, I see, the results of what you do, like you're good at what you do. And so I'm going to follow you because I want to, because of your results. And then it's like, after that, there's like, this is like his structuring of it. He says the next one is like leadership based on, I don't know if it's like philosophy or it's like leadership based on principle. Maybe that's what it is, like principle-based leadership. And that's like not just the results, but it's like the ideas of this person or the way, like probably, I don't know if Dan Gable, like you talked about him earlier, I don't know if he would be on this level or the next one, because then the next level after like understanding the, the thought patterns and the ways of working through stuff, the next level up after that is like, I'm forgetting the term he used. I almost want to call it like legendary status. It's like this person is like the pinnacle based leadership. And it's like, this is the person to follow in this area. And it's like, I mean, it's almost, I would almost call it elevating someone to like the place of an idol. Like you look at them like they're infallible. Like this person just has it. It's not even just like some of the ideas are good, and so I'm going to follow based on those. It's like, tell me what they do and I will do it. Oh, they said it, I'm in. Like, so those are stages of the way people find themselves following others. So it just makes me think about leadership, and like in a community sense, you really don't have the authority to like say unless you're a lawmaker or something, you can't say you have to do this. So then it's like you've got three other options. It's either going to be a results-based leadership, a principle-based leadership, or it's going to be you throwing your clout around and getting people to do what you say because they just think you're so gosh darn awesome,
Right.
So
yeah. Something to strive for.
I mean, and I think talking about culture creation and community creation, I think that's what it has to come back to is, if we're following a person to this thing, whoever's trying to lead the push, I mean, it's got to be because there's results, there's principles that just like we get it and it makes sense and it's good, and so I'm gonna jive with it, or it's the person. So there's just a couple things there.
Is there anyone in your head that has legendary status?
Jesus.
Besides him? I knew you were going to say that.
I mean, there are probably points in life where like I would have had somebody that I would have said yes to, and like I would have given you a name and been like, this is a person, I'll just, I'm all in with them. I don't really feel like there's someone like that for me now. Just understanding that there really aren't any, in my belief, there's no other person than Christ who has been totally perfect.
Yeah.
So for me, like there's no one else that, and I'm probably misrepresenting John Maxwell's thing a little bit. This is just the way I remember it from a couple years ago when I read it. But, there are probably people that are like closer to, I'm not saying like there's people close to like Jesus or anything like that, but like there are people that I think they've got it together in such a way where, yeah, like I probably buy into what they're doing, what they're saying quick. There's just trust, there's rapport there because of who they are.
Yeah.
And that's based on results and ideas and just the overall fruit of their life.
Yeah.
So
that's good.
I don't have one to give you though.
No, hey, it's good.
Do you have one that you're thinking of as I talk about it?
I mean, again, not to the point of idolatry or
Right.
a little God in my life, but
Yeah.
like Jocko, just heavily influenced just because I feel like everything he says is principled. It's responsible.
Yeah.
It's structured and it makes sense to me.
Sure.
So especially he has this video on YouTube and it's just like called Good. And it's his philosophy about how everything literally is opportunity for something. And he talks about he's in the teams, the SEALs teams, and he goes on and on and on. And, you broke your arm. Good opportunity for you to heal, sit back, take a break, examine what's going on around you, you name it, like lost your favorite hat. Good opportunity for you to like get over your attachment to whatever that was, or good or bad, had your first kid, kind of stress. Good opportunity for you to learn some resiliency and to become more adaptable based on the way you were. And no matter what bad thing happened, it can be used for, and this is biblical as well, as can be used for something good to come out of it.
Yeah, it's possible.
Correct. It's possible. And I think that's the principle to hang on to is it's not always going to happen that way.
Right.
Just because, something bad happened, it's not automatically going to be turned into something good right away, but everything is opportunity for something.
Yeah.
And I believe that. And I believe we have some authority or some creativity to affect what that outcome is. And that's Jocko. He's got legendary status to me right there. But, and even then on that kind of culture creating is like COVID happened. Good. I mean, we have an opportunity to try to create a culture in a different way, to try to bring people together differently,
Yep.
And so on and so forth.
I agree.
Do you have any legend status, people?
I'm not sure that's something I've ever actually like really thought about too hard. So I might have an answer for you later.
Right on. John the Baptist is another one for me.
Oh my goodness, your man crush.
JB. Yeah. When Jesus says there has been no one greater than he, I feel like you should perk up a little bit. Like that dude. Anyway, well, that's a different train. I feel like this could either be a really entertaining or really boring podcast. I'm kind of excited to hear how many views we get or whatnot.
Get some feedback. What do you think so far, internet? Is this good or?
Exactly.
I think it's good. I like it.
I like this one.
We're either going to get some thumbs up here at an hour and 5 minutes, or it's going to be crickets because everyone's gone already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully not that one.
Right. Hopefully not that one. But we've covered some ground. I mean,
we have.
This is like kind of a classic conversation that
takes me back a few months
right.
when we just had these more before life got really busy.
Yeah. And we were like, we should record these. That was a good conversation. And then here we are just on a random Monday night at 10 p.m. throwing it down, getting into one. And it's like, hey, it's good that we can still do this,
It is good.
Yeah.
Because before this, we were like, what are we going to talk about?
Right.
Is this going to be good at all?
Right.
Do we have anything to say?
Hopefully it's right.
And here we are.
I'm
saying things.
Yep. We're saying things. Talking about creating culture, which I feel like is just a good product.
It is a good product.
Is if you can bring a community together and create a culture that's tight-knit and just about good things. Yeah. There's so much chaos in the world. You need some sort of organization of wellness.
Yeah.
And a community can bring that to you because a healthy body, a body that's functioning, and each part that's doing its role for the good of the body is going to thrive. Mm-hmm. And that's essentially what a human body is. It's what a church is. It's what a community is. It's what any team or group is, It is a body. Each person has a role. It's either productive or consuming from the body itself. Mm-hmm. And it's the more you can create productive things in a community, it's going to thrive. It's going to survive.
Agree.
Yeah.
Greatest is the servant.
So Yeah, there you go again. Which is also the meaning of marriage, I think, is.
Well, I agree. I believe firmly from 1 Corinthians, like loving is serving.
Absolutely.
So excited to try that one out.
Mm-hmm.
Outserve
Take
each
that
other.
for a spin, right?
Yeah.
It's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
In a competition to serve.
Right. Don't like make it like a competition or anything. It would just be like,
I'm going to serve you so good today. Like, you just wait till I serve you. I'm going to do these dishes and then I'm going to vacuum.
And you don't even have to ask.
Yeah, good luck. I already mowed the yard.
You're just like one-upping each other.
Right.
Service.
Not that.
Just like, right.
Sometimes Tyler and I will catch each other doing that. He'll like do something for me and then I'll be like, oh, let me get that for you. And he'll be like, no, let me get the door.
Classic Dwight and Andy.
Yeah.
Allow me.
Allow me.
No, allow me.
Right.
Allow me.
You owe me.
Oh, we're even.
Keeping score.
Yeah. Don't do that.
Danger.
Yeah.
Keeping score is very dangerous.
Yeah.
I could just see you and Taylor keeping score of board game wins specifically.
Well, that, yes.
Like
maybe
Catan
that.
wins. You guys will have like a little chalkboard with tally marks. We'll be like, what is that?
Yeah. I still have framed and hanging on my wall the tournament bracket from when I and my partner beat her in cornhole 3 summers ago. But I will take it down if that is what would bring peace, if it's necessary.
Proud.
I don't think she cares anymore. She's like over it. She's got a whole bunch of other pictures going up in the house now. So pictures of us.
Taking over. Yeah.
Yeah. Pictures your wife took.
Yeah, they're great.
They are great.
She's an excellent photographer.
She is.
She blows my mind.
Yeah, she's awesome.
She has a style, and
it's a good style.
It is a good style. Yeah.
I really wish she would have posted the one where you were imitating the goose when after he had bit Taylor's leg.
Yeah,
Isaac like got all up in that goose's face and acted like a bigger goose.
It's true. I put my arms out like wings. I was like this. He hisses when he's like scared or upset.
Pongo does?
Yeah, Pongo. Yeah. Puts his head up and goes. So
Isaac did it back to him. It was
I did.
awesome.
He ran away.
He did.
You alpha them.
I protected my woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Show you Pongo.
alpha goose showed up.
Show you
The
Pongo.
gander. I found this out the other day. I didn't know this. Someone in the church told me. A male goose is called a gander.
A gander.
Goose and gander, that means a female and a male of the species of goose.
Interesting.
Didn't know that.
I didn't
That's
either.
why there was a goose in the Gander Mountain logo.
That would be why.
That makes sense now.
It wasn't a goose, it was a gander.
Ugh. A male goose.
There you go, internet. Learn something new.
And with that, let's just wrap it up.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah,
He's
we're
Isaac.
not going to get any better than that, right?
I guess not. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I hope you're okay ending it like that. Just ganders.
I think so.
Take
yeah,
a
she
gander
hit
at
the
that.
out-
I could turn it back off.
She could. No.
Just cancel.
I'm wondering where this is getting ridiculous. I'm wondering where we're gonna go after this, so it's probably best just to wrap it up. This was episode 14. This is Isaac and Philip. He's getting married, so the next episode may or may not be with him. We're gonna see.
Yeah.
We maybe we'll do a phone one from
Maybe.
we have the ability to like tag you in, and
Yep.
it could be good.
That could be cool.
Yeah, we could be. We'll have
Yeah,
to get
super high tech.
tech savvy. Yep. He's Isaac.
He's Philip.
We're unfiltered. Episode 14 is a wrap. Coming weekly. More and more are coming. Tune in. Bring some value with us. Throw us some comments. What do you like? What don't you like? Did you like the background?
The lights.
The
gander. Share it with a friend
Share with a friend. Yeah, get us some feedback.
as we run out of outro music.
Yeah, that means we spoke too long.
Oh no.
We did it.
Start it again.
Bye.
Do it again.
Do it again.
Okay, this time we're going to look off into the distance as the music fades away.
This is so interesting.
Thank you,
Deuces.
America.
All right.
Right.
See y'all.
Bye.